All right. So today I am going to continue the teaching that I've been doing. The main thing is that we have some other events going on that goes along with the teaching that I'm giving. The main thing is that, as you see here, my relationship is a monastic relationship. I have been in this situation since I was 9 years old. I have been a monk since I was 9 years old. Tibetans came to my house, told my parents that I'm reincarnation of Buddha, and that affected me pretty greatly because I already knew that. So I then went on to a local Buddhist temple and asked to take vows and receive teachings as to how to behave so that I could properly get through the first phase of my life without causing anybody any harm. So that's the process that I'm in. I am the head of all the major monasteries of Tibet, mainly because I'm the teacher that brings peace. I know the sciences of the human nature. I know sciences that move human nature into becoming a Buddha or an awakened angel. So in all of Tibet, Tibetan Buddhism or Buddhism is based on the principle that you're very blessed to be incarnated in a human body. Now, you could be a dog or a cat. You could be an insect. You could be anything. But you're not. You're in this life right now. You're in a human body. So you should take advantage of that. You should acknowledge that. But you need a teacher to tell you that, because the rest of humanity is saying that we're linked to monkeys. And we're off the evolutionary chain of a monkey. So that doesn't give us too much hope in relationship to our spiritual connection to God. We'd be more connected to predatorship and survival than we would a relationship of God. So it's in the process of the teacher, the incarnation of Buddha, that brings about an understanding that we are sacred, that a reasoning as to why flowers are even flowers. And what is it in the herbs that bring about healing? Why? Are they created divinely to manifest healing powers? And are flowers manifested to create healing powers? Yeah. And if so, how are we going to figure that out? Are we going to figure that in a pharmacy? In a lab? Are we going to understand, our basic real truth of where we came from? And what is our purpose of being here? How should we behave? And are we the caretakers of everything on earth? And, it's too much to say that we're the destroyers of earth. Even though we can create as many nuclear bombs as you can imagine, and we can wipe out nations of people, animals, and every living thing. We can do that. We can pollute the planet. We can tear away the ozone. We can wipe away what is nature, the very nature that protects us, the very nature that creates us. It's in nature. It's in the planet. Something about this planet is spiritual, sacred. It houses within it the vibration, the energy, the science of God. And it's not a pagan thing. I'm not talking about Zeus or the goddess Diane or anything like that. I'm talking about God. And God is in everything. Every single thing. God created everything. So literally everything comes from God. Every single thing. So in it, it is impressed with God. For it to be in existence, it's under the will of God. Yeah, the sun is where it's located. Its size, its mass, and its purpose is designed by God. And it's not just, oh, it's a sun, and it's hot, and it provides sunlight. That's our really limited understanding of our physical world. And when we look at the world in a physical world, and we think that it's just a physical world, and we don't really seek out and develop an understanding of what might be the soul, what might be the spirit that creates life itself, the spark of life. What is that? It's located in every seed. Every seed. And most seeds don't germinate until they're in proper situation. So there's purpose behind everything. And a tomato seed, when you plant it, it doesn't turn out to be a corn unless you genetically mutate millions of times. And then you come up with a different plant, a different seed, a different outcome. But that is manipulating nature. And that's not about the science I'm talking about. The science I'm talking about is the science of God. God radiates and creates, instills life in everything, And the human being has the ability to co-create with God, to generate more light, to manifest into the world the genetic and the natural evolutionary aspects of growth. Like a tree grows and it creates leaves, and off of that it creates a fruit. Inside that is seed. And yet you can eat that fruit. And the seeds come out of your poop. And that's a natural fertilizer. And it grows because we pooped out seeds, which is a perfect medium. So the nature of things, without us being intellectual, is preconceived in our action, in our daily action, even just pooping or eating, in the normal things that we do to exist. We co-create with God. We're creating the soil that's on earth. We're thinning out animals as we eat them. We create waterways for storage of water. And we utilize that. And we think in terms that goes along with nature. Those are natural things, very natural things. But we're not including the main process that comes with nature. And that's that the earth provides us life. It's life. Life. And we have to tune into that in order to gain wisdom. We don't get wisdom from books. We don't get wisdom from the internet. We don't get wisdom from our telephone. We don't get wisdom from conversations. We get wisdom from God. And when we quiet down into our inner nature, we pick up from the tree of life, and we can understand life by attuning to nature. It wakes up things inside of us that we're not aware of. We're not aware that we have chakras. And when we become aware of that, we find out, oh, wow, we have 7 chakras. Huh. So what does that do? I mean, all of you walking around, you're not doing anything for your chakras. You're filling your tummy. You're breathing your air. You're looking out, seeing things if you're not blind. You're hearing things. You're touching things. Those are all chakras. Senses. Senses. The sense of touch. The sense of sight. The sense of hearing. Yeah. Those are senses. Yeah. Those are our science. Yeah. How we attune, and inwardly we get images, feelings, communication. We have no idea that this communication even exists. We think talking to people is what communication's about. But it's not. Communication begins with meditation, silence. Yeah. Every great invention, every great thing, anything that's ever been created comes from a spark of God. Not from knowing, not from knowledge, but from an awakened wisdom. Yeah. Because it's the time to know. It's the time to become aware. And when we open up new avenues of consciousness and awareness, understanding the speed of light, understanding gravity, understanding nature. Yeah. We don't get that through a highly intellectual process. We get it intuitively. Yeah. So it requires the person to really calm down their senses and have their senses redirected rather than focusing on what you see, focusing on what you touch, focusing on what you taste, focusing on what you smell, focusing on what you hear. All those things become personal processes. How do you interpret those things? Yeah. Well, by nature alone, we have those instincts that helps us do that. But what about our chakras? What is that? What are chakras? Yeah. Chakras are the process of love. Yeah. When chakras are balanced and express, they only express love. But if they're unhealthy, they express hate, distrust, anxiety, nervousness. You hear what you want to hear. You see what you want to see. Yeah. You can take a bite out of an apple and put an onion under your nose, and you'll taste onion. Because you're seeing what you want to see. It overthrows your taste buds, your senses. Yeah. So that's just an example of how imbalanced it could be in discernment and discrimination and aligning to the truth. Without the truth, How do you go from one step to the next? If you're climbing down a mountain, you should look down. You can see where your feet are going to go. See where your hands are going to go. See how best to get down the mountain. Do it slowly, using your senses. Life is not a process of materialism. We have a long road of understanding the Aboriginal reality. Has a great deal of awareness in this. Native Americans, they do offerings toward nature. North, south, east, west, up and down is a part of nature. They're not in charge of it. They honor it. They respect it. Yeah, it's greater than them. Yeah, they need to be a part of it rather than ignorance. Wisdom is the opposite of ignorance. So you have to communicate with nature. You have to become part of nature in order to attain wisdom and love. There's not another way. So the Aboriginal, the Native American, they make offerings. They make offerings to animal. Yeah, when they go on a hunt, they make an offering to the Great Spirit, to God. They ask to be moved, directed, given sensory ability to be led to the animal and to be of right nature to that animal. So the animal is led to me. It's not just a predator thing. It's an offering. That's what nature does. Nature offers the animal. And you have to be willing to know that that is a good thing. So you hunt. And you have this in mind. You're not the predator. Yeah? You're in a state of offering. You're offering a service to thin out what is too many. If you know anything about hunting, when you go to get a hunting license, it has to do with how many deer are there and how many deer can you go out and hunt. Not a lot of people go hunting. So we're not wiping away the animals. But in the process of it, we're thinning it, which is a natural way of being humane. Humane. When you're a caretaker, you're humane. And when you're eating, in the Aboriginal state, we're hunters. We're gatherers. We know what to hunt. And there's no stupidity, no ignorance involved. We capture that deer. We not only have a deer, but we have bones. We have a hide. We have antlers. Every single bit of it becomes clothing, shoes, buttons, hats. You don't waste it. You eat the heart, the liver, every bit of it. It's an offering. And since you behave in this way, then it's a circle. And it's that kind of behavior that allows you to reincarnate as a human. A human. Which means humane. Which means that you have very strong chakras. not just major chakras, which are what is developed during a lifetime. In one lifetime, you can help to heal your chakric imbalance due to fear and hate and treachery and terrible life. It weakens your chakras. It causes them to be moved into an emotional personality process that has no higher spiritual value whatsoever. It's extremely mundane. It does not give service. It's self-serving. But that's what you get when you have unhealthy chakras. You're simply surviving. You're a predator. And that's just the way it is. Everybody around you is in the same boat. And you get out of it by being humane. And you learn how to be humane by meditating and changing your evil ways. So in Buddhism, or by Jesus, we teach the relationship of sin. It does exist. And your behavior allows you to become the lower nature that you're trying not to be. Yeah? The counter-evolutionary forces that are built up inside your chakras, when they are not healthy, yeah, they're very selfish. So your personality in your lower nature could be a volatile, hostile, angry, ugly person who takes advantage of people, steals people, has perverted sexual behavior because the lower chakras are imbalanced. And they're under the law of hate. And in that lower world where demons exist, they are the foundation of hate. They express hate as their glamours, as their vices. And when they enter you, you become filled with glamours and vices. And your personality becomes that of a demon. It's an amazing thing. I mean, we see it everywhere. We see it in Taylor Swift. Yeah. We see it in the Kardashians. We see it in movie stars. We see it in rock stars. We see it in people playing football, basketball, wherever fame exists. In order to get to that place, to compete against another person, it required hate, selfishness. And they got a lot of it. And when you do that, you get paid big. Because you sell your soul. And you had no idea you had a soul to sell. Yeah. You had no idea. And the soul comes from the earth. It's a collective consciousness of humanity. And it's found in birds. It's found in trees. It's found in rocks. Found in the air. And found in water. You can scientifically, and there are scientists today who pray over water, pray over a lake or a stream. And before they pray, they take the water out and they freeze it and they check to see what the structure of the crystals are. And then they pray over it. And they take that water and they freeze that. And the structure of the crystals are dramatically different. Crystals from words like hate, go to hell, things of hate, things of the lower nature, inhumane qualities, express energetic principles that create structure that is destructive, disharmonious. There's no crystalline form like a snowflake in that ice crystal. But in the prayer, very same water, very same lake, turns to perfect, harmonic, crystal-like forms, like a snowflake. This happens everywhere. Yeah? Water is easy to test like that. That's an easy sample for us to get an idea that this is true. So why do I create etheric weavers? Because I know this is true. I'm very wise. I did this when I was 9, because none of you bless anything. Nothing. You're drinking a beer, cussing at people and lying and gossiping. What kind of shit does that do to you? What does it do to your chakras? What does it do to your minor chakras? What does it do to all of humanity? Yeah. Do we have a control effect over why there is sex trafficking going on? Why there are women who hate men under the illusion that men are patriarchal, chauvinistic pigs? And that men want to become women because they're such ugly creatures that in order to be not ugly, they have to be a girl in makeup with boobs and nylons so that they can drop that terrible, terrible impression of being evil and ugly just because they're a man. Hated by the whole of the human race. The average woman says, we don't need men. The average woman says, wow, we don't need men at all. Especially if you're famous and wealthy. What do you need a man for? You got your own money. What do you need a man for? You got your own looks. You're a girl. Wow. Amazing. All based on materialism. 100%. There's no chakras in that. No chakras at all. Nope. But there is spirit. There's spirit. Evil spirit. Yeah. And that evil spirit goes into the earth, goes into the flowers, goes into the water, goes into everything. And then there are people that go, wow, we're destroying the earth. We're absorbing all the water. We're toxically destroying everything, all the lakes and all the ocean and, the coral along the ocean and, all the fish in the sea. Killing them. Whales are finding themselves on the beach because they're going crazy. They can't handle big ships and all the sound that comes from that. And these whales sing. They communicate. They share loving qualities and characteristics all throughout the ocean. For hundreds and hundreds of miles they do this. They travel the earth. It's their ocean. There used to be sailboats because there were no motors. But now we have these dual prop, boom, 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 sounds going through the ocean. Terrible sound. The sound of the engine constantly going, constantly, 24 hours a day. And there are thousands of these ships sending commodities and cars and oil and everything across the earth, dumping shit, ships breaking and oil being dispersed. Yeah, we do that. And it affects the nature of these animals and of the plants. And that affects us. Just scientifically, if we just take a look at this, we have that going on. Well, what happens? What happens if the earth is supposed to have a race of people who are soulful, who talk to animals, not have pets and think that they're in Disneyland, but they literally talk to animals, and the animals talk to them. Yeah, they follow you, they ask for food, and you're wise enough to know this is going on. And they can pick that up from you. Why? Because you have chakras. Just like that little tiny animal, or like that tree, or like that fruit. Everything has chakras. Everything. Every single thing. And we're not connected in that area at all. The island of Hawaii is a kingdom. Yeah, there's a lot of kingdoms. There's the kingdom of Nepal, there's the kingdom of Bhutan, there's the kingdom of England, there's the kingdom of Denmark, there's a kingdom of everywhere, all over the place. But I'm not talking about that. Those aren't real kingdoms. Nope, they're not. Yeah. But the Hawaiian island is a kingdom. Yeah, and we have no idea, what that means. And what it means is that here we have a small piece of land in the middle of the ocean, 2,000 miles from all other pieces of land. Yeah, and it has a variety of trees on it from everywhere: bamboo, redwood, you name it, eucalyptus. How's that possible? It is. It just is. Because of birds. We have a variety of birds that are so beautiful. And we have no snakes. How's that possible? No snakes. Not one snake. Not any kind of snake. Not a garden snake, not a king snake, no snake. Never evolved on these islands. Never manifested on these islands. Why? Chakras. Chakras. It's a real kingdom. A real kingdom has no snakes. It's called paradise. There are no snakes in paradise except for Satan. 3:04 p.m. 3:04 p.m. And that's one thing that we have to make sure we learn. We have to understand the quality of the elemental kingdom and its manifestation on earth. Yeah. And human beings are led. They're moved. They go from place to place, and they have no idea what moves them. And it's our nature. It's our chakras. God wants us in the right place at the right time. And that's the Holy Spirit. It's in our chakras. We communicate this way. Yeah. We have a chakra known as the sacral center. Yeah, let's see if I can find my little chakras here. So this is the image of chakras. Okay, that's not my best one, but it'll do. And what we have is that we're looking at unhealthy and healthy. And when you look at unhealthy, which is on the right-hand side, you'll see there are 7 chakras. Now, this is very esoteric, and a lot of people think this is New Age and pagan, and it's not. It has to do with truth. And the truth is that we are capable of doing things that Jesus Christ showed his disciples that they could do. They could stop committing sin. They could discern and discriminate whether or not a person has a demon. And they could radiate calm, peaceful interaction that causes that demon to get upset and start wanting to leave the person who will not get away from the light. So an exorcism begins. And we all have this ability. But we need chakras. We need to show that we are a soulful, incarnated human being, and that we're not just a regular person who has no developed wisdom whatsoever and is just an intellectual person, and far greater than that of an ape, that's for sure. But it's not our principle. We're not an ape. We're not to be compared to apes. We are human beings, and human beings have chakras. And when we have chakras, we have abilities. But when we don't have those chakras, we also have abilities to hate, be prejudiced, be biased, be desirous, have all kinds of addictive attitudes and everything. Because on an unhealthy side, if you look at the chakras on an unhealthy side, everything is dominated by what's known as the solar plex. And if you see it, you'll see that the heart center, which is number 2, is pulled down into the solar plex, which means that the heart center is asleep and weak, and it has to submit to the will of the solar plex, which is much more self-centered, much more interested in what one needs and what one thinks one needs. So that becomes a desire body. And then the next chakra, look at the one below that, is a 5. And that 5 is the same 5 when you see the healthy chakra. You see that 5 way up there in the head. And if you were to know that chakra, if you were to understand that chakra is our revelation of God. It reveals God to us. It also allows us to know whether or not we're doing harm or not doing harm. It allows us to regulate ourselves, like in meditation. So on a healthy side, we're actually developing that brow chakra. We're developing it in meditation, right? So that becomes stronger. And look over at the unhealthy side. What are we doing? We have now this thing that is a number 4 up in the brow. Well, that same number 4 used to be down in the base in a healthy person. What effect does that have, moving it all the way up to the brow center? And that 4 represents conflict. It represents hostility. It represents aggression. It represents violence. It represents jealousy. It represents all things that stirs up inside of a person that makes them the beast connected to the monkey. Connected to the monkey. So on the healthy side, you're not a monkey, you're an angel. On an unhealthy side, you are a monkey. And you're just a little bit more evolved than the average monkey. And we're just Darwinian. Everything is Darwinian, from how we look at cars and how we look at everything is all from a Darwinian mindset. No God, no soul, we evolved from monkeys. And it's not true. It's totally not true. But due to the fact that we have unhealthy chakras, we have no wisdom, we have no understanding, and we live a life of worry and fear and distrust. Men cannot communicate with women. Women cannot communicate with men. That's not natural. In the natural world, in a healthy state, chakras are designed to be attracted, male to female, female to male. That's how healthy chakras work. If you imagine, you take that number 4 at the base center, and this person is a healthy person. It's a healthy male or a healthy female. Doesn't matter. We have the same chakras. And these chakras are loving. They are attracted to similar people, like-minded people with similar chakras. And that means that that 4th ray down there is calm, patient, trustworthy, desires to do good and serve other people in their needs. In other words, caring, sharing, understanding. These are all aspects of women and men that come from our chakras. Yeah? If these chakras are not developed, then we become distrustful beings over here on the unhealthy side. And now we have a 7 down at our base center. And that 7 is the same 7 that's up in the sacral center when you're healthy. And that's the one that allows you to be attracted to the opposite sex. It allows you to do it. It's a natural process. We're magnetically attracted. We get horny just seeing the opposite sex, getting near the opposite sex. That's not a animal characteristic. That's an angel characteristic. Angel. Over here in the healthy side, that 7th ray is right relationship, ceremonial magic. God is creating a ceremony for us. What happens when we find our mate, when we are in love with the opposite sex? A ceremony is drawn into effect, and we get married in a ceremony. And we commit our chakras to each other. Our 4th ray is harmony through conflict. Well, what do we say when we get married? I will love you through hardship, through poverty, through sickness and health, till death do we part. That's 4th ray. Well, what happens if you have a 4th ray up here at the brow? No way, I don't like men. No way, I'm not too sure about girls. Their behavior is like not good. Takes my home, takes my life, takes my children. No, I don't think so. These unhealthy women are not attractive. And they look at the men and they go, those unhealthy men are not attractive. But when we are healthy, we are overwhelmingly attractive. And we have discernment and discrimination to telepathically, intuitively, psychically, magnetically attract the ones that we're meant to be with to us. And that same power has the ability to dispel those who are not meant to be around us at all. And these are all in the chakras. Yeah. Healthy chakra, 7th ray at the sacral center. Healthy chakra, 4th ray at the base center. That's harmony through conflict. That is harmony, ability to communicate with the opposite sex. That is right relationship, ability to communicate with the opposite sex. And then you go up one more, and you got that 6 sitting in the solar plex. And that 6, when it is elevated by the heart of love, it becomes loyal. The ideal husband, the ideal wife. We don't question what we're supposed to be doing in this relationship. Women have babies. Men don't have babies. Women take care of the babies. Men also help with taking care of the babies. So we're fully responsible for procreation. That's why we marry. That's why we're together, is to help God bring humans back to earth when we reincarnate. And in a healthy chakras, we reincarnate as humans. But in the unhealthy chakras, we reincarnate as bitter, unloving, unsacred, inhumane people. And that's what we're looking at today. Crazy, inhumane people. How are we going to get to sanity? Are we going to get there by laws, by putting people in prison, by beating them up and getting them to change? No. We have to do it through the chakras. We have to do it by having reverence toward the earth. We have to. We have to meditate. Yeah? And you see this 3 up at the throat center. It's also in the unhealthy person. But you look at that and you see that 3 with a line going down, making it connected and relating to that 5 down in the sacral center. Well, that 5 placed in the sacral center is concrete mind. That's where we think every doctor is God. Every physicist is a genius. You know, if you can do these things with that 5th ray, mechanical reality, you know, then we see each other. We see people. We identify with people as who they are, rather than who we are. Yeah. So this 3rd ray could be the Holy Spirit, but in an unhealthy person, it is the evil spirit. So this is the intention of Satan. Comes down and works through your 5th ray and blocks you to kindness, blocks you to giving, blocks you to caring, puts you in the process to where you have to have loans. You have to work and never work and get enough money to pay for your rent or pay for your house or pay for anything. Because we're in this unhealthy chakra reality where we're a bunch of materialistic pigs. And we have no idea. We've never been trained to develop our healthy chakras. So, we walk around every day with unhealthy chakras. And we wonder how it is. All of Maui and Lahaina is burned down. And how it is, you know, that we're in a war in Ukraine with Russia. How it is we have a president that literally tried to take over the United States and oust the other president. How it is. And you think, all of you think, the only thing we've got is this material world. We have law. We can bust their ass, put them in prison, have them learn lessons through hard knocks, not through wisdom. Nope. Not through radiating love like Christ. Not through forgiveness. I'm not saying, I'm going to radiate love into Trump and forgive his ass, and everybody's going to not see him for who he is. He needs to be seen for who he is. That's judgment. It's not about him going to jail. It's about taking the veil off of all of you so you could do the right thing. And you don't treat someone who is an antichrist, who is a demigod, who is evil as sin, as someone you look up to, someone you want to be your president, someone who may be a Messiah. according to his previous 2016 process. Those are all unhealthy chakras. You're living inside of a QAnon conspiracy. That's unhealthy chakras times 10. No wisdom whatsoever. You have a transgender man in the White House running the medical department, health and education. A man with a dick and tits changes his name to a girl and is not recognized or helped for his mental illness because we have no wisdom. We brought a man who's an actor, a homosexual, who couldn't get a job. Yeah, he tried skipping and dancing and singing, as most gays do, while he's trying his acting career out. But there's a whole bunch of homosexuals. So that's way too many. You can't get paid well, you can't get a job. Too many gays. So he found out that if he went online and dressed up as a girl, called himself transgender, and this is his first day of being transgender, would he get support? And he did. Within just months, he was called by our vice president to come to the White House and sit in the White House and be given the credentials of a woman by the President of the United States. And within 2 months after that, he's called by Budweiser to be the spokesperson of all men who drink beer and want to have sex with other men dressed up as women. Seems normal. That's what the transgender CEO thought when she took over that job. Putting this gay actor, who's not transgender, in that position. That's all chakras. All manipulation. Showing us the unhealthiness of what we are. And this affects the earth. We have to do things in order to change our chakras. Yeah. And the biggest way to change chakras is by testing it through discernment and discrimination. So I do a lot of things in this world in order to create cultural shock, to see where people are at in their chakras. So I push solar, I push navigation systems in cars, I push solar onto houses, I push wind generators as an alternative to electricity and gas and oil. I push the relationship of electric cars and battery technology. And we got people so freaked out they started crushing the cars. And who killed the electric car came out. You know, so I go out and buy the last electric car that wasn't crushed. Paid nearly 70 grand for it. When it sold new, it was only 25. So they put me on the news as a crazy man, buying an electric car for such a high price. I could have bought 2 Hummers, they said. Yeah, but that's not what I do, because I'm here to create cultural shock and see what the reaction is. Well, the reaction was pretty good. The news that called me was EV news, not a negative news media, but a positive news media. Even though they were shocked themselves that anybody cared that much about getting electric cars out. You know, and I did. So that pushed everything. Within less than 3 years, Elon made an agreement with Toyota in order to get the RAV4 to become an electric car built in the same building that he was going to start building the Model S. Yeah, at Muni. So that really initiated a lot of push. I pushed navigation and got people really freaked out. There was people in New York and everywhere. There's taxi drivers going, I'm never going to use it. No way. But I keep putting it out. I put it out through Garmin. I put it out through everybody that would put it in a car, because car dealers wouldn't put it in. So once people had their own independent little navigation systems, they started seeing these are absolutely perfect. What a time-saving, emotionally balancing thing to have when you're trying to get around town and find where you need to go. How long will it take you to get there? All that stuff would be nice to know. All of a sudden, it was available. And within 10 years, it was in cars. And I pushed the electric car. Within just a few years, out comes the hybrid. And more hybrids. And then finally, the Model S. And that's in millions now. Millions. And people in the beginning just went, no way, I don't like it. I'll run over your car. I'll scratch your car. I'll treat you badly because you have an electric car. And that did happen. That's because of unhealthy chakras. Unhealthy chakras do not like the Lord's work. And you are all co-creators to the Lord's work. You're not here for anything else. You're here to receive the gifts the Lord gives you. The world that the Lord is making for you. The destiny that is designed by the Lord and not manifest destiny like Oprah. True destiny is created by the Lord. The Lord knows what's going on. I know what's going on. Yeah. And I push those buttons like crazy in order to evolve us faster in ways you can't imagine, because we are a soul. We are a collective consciousness. Our soul radiates into the earth and radiates out of the earth and heals the earth. It communicates. The higher we get, the more soulful we get, the more wisdom we attain. It goes up into the ionosphere, into the onosphere, which is the consciousness of the mind of God. It's a collective consciousness. Our soul is located on the outside of the earth and in the earth. So we have to have very high thoughts. Yeah? And those very high thoughts come from above, come from the sky of all things. And they come into us. And we put them into effect. And it requires every single chakra in our being to have the strength and the courage to fulfill God's plan coming from above. Not coming from what in front of us, like we know something. That's not. It's from above. From where we're not. You know, we're not from above. We receive from above. We have to raise our mind up telepathically to reach God. And God has a plan for us all. So God's not outside the earth. God is the earth. God's not outside the car. God is the car. Everything that I help to bring onto this earth comes from God. Just like the trees and the flowers and everything. You just don't understand. But I do. I'm the high priest of earth. I'm doing ceremonies every day. relinquishing all your lower nature, helping you to evolve every bit of your higher self. I do that by giving you gifts. I give you electric cars so you to choose to buy, and then you're more soulful. Why? Because you made a wise decision, overshadowed by the Lord, inside the Lord's destiny, the plan. Yeah. So we're not going to stop at cars. We're not going to stop at this and that. I have to keep moving people toward the future. And because you're unhealthy chakras, you cannot see the future. You think you already know shit. And you don't know anything. But you're going to. Yeah. So you all know about Arcimoto.
Love it. It is the perfect vehicle for getting me from home to everything. I rarely take my car out anymore.
So what does that have to do with chakras? Everything. Every single thing. Yep. The world is spiritual. If it's unhealthy, then we're driven by these chakras that are pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. We lose all of our power. Power to love. The power to understand, the power to go through the process it takes to understand, letting go, stopping hate, stopping prejudice, being patient, developing a virtue, and your eyes start seeing differently. It's all about that. So I have to bring into the world to where you're seeing the truth. You're seeing a vehicle that's driving around and you're enjoying it, and it's an Arcimoto, and it gets so many miles, and you're saving so much money, and you love it. It's fun. When do you get in your car and you go, oh boy, am I having fun? Maybe the first day you got it, but not necessarily. It just functions in this mundane world of unhealthy chakras. We can't keep evolving. We must. So I bring into the world, like this monastery behind me. You're not used to that. You look at the pyramid and you all scratch your head and said, I don't know, maybe aliens made it. I don't understand it. And the domes, I don't know. I kind of like square with a little triangle on top. Reminds me of a house. Mundane, people. You're talking mundane. Your chakras are so dysfunctioning. So I have to do these things. Even though I'm one of you, I'm here with healthy chakras. So at a very early age, I was developing solar and wind generators and all of this stuff. So I'm not in shock. I've been developed through wisdom. I know where we're going because I'm telepathic. I don't just see the future, I am the future. And I'm comfortable in it, you know? And I could share it with you as a gift. So I bring the vehicles in. I personally made sure that Tesla got their cars out. I personally made sure of it. I went to the factory. I walked through the factory. I bought one of the very first cars, number 274. I had to pay a fortune for that sucker. It's ridiculous. But that's what we do. It's not about money. It's about offering. And it is not easy to offer because you have to give of yourself. And I'm not a rich person. I mean, you can't imagine, every single penny and dime, because I don't go to the bank. I don't ask for loans. I have to pay for everything up front. That's the nature of healthy chakras. You just don't know that. You don't have the wisdom to get past those problems. Problems that create problems, and then you live in problems. And you could have never even started. So I offer so many things. I offer the iPhone, laptop computers, internet TV rather than cable TV or HD TV. Make it possible so that you can watch TV on your phone. You can communicate with people back and forth, whether it be through video or on a regular audio device or texting. That helps your chakras if you behave. If you're kind, if you're caring, if you're sharing. But you can use the very same energies and tear people down, destroy people, gossip, lie, manipulate, steal. That's very unhealthy. And those are unhealthy chakras. So you need to be presented with healthy chakras. I have healthy chakras. My world, I am building with healthy chakras. The domes that are behind me will be the houses of the future. Yeah, it's not a ridiculous thing. It's not a silly thing. But it is a new thing. Not a new age thing, but a new thing. Because it complements nature. Imagine if these domes were built in lahaina. All the houses, all the buildings were monolithic domes. And a fire comes, swoops through the whole town. Not one building is lost. Not one building. They don't burn. The fire just rolls by. Hurricanes do nothing. And we know the earth changes. It floods, it rains, there's fires, natural fires. We can't get angry about fires. We can't get angry about earthquakes. We can't get angry about all these things. Because it's the nature. But how do we prepare? Is it dry grass? Well, if it's dry grass, why don't we water it? Drip systems would take care of that very easily with large tanks up at the higher point and just keep them filled. That could save you everything. You could prevent the entire wildfire process anywhere near towns. But we don't do that. We don't do that. There's a lot we don't do because we don't have the wisdom. We buy wood, we build ticky-tacky wooden shacks. They burn up in a minute. You know, we have to not just learn. It's not about learning, because wisdom tells you before anything terrible happens. Wisdom tells you. It gives you discernment, discrimination. You actually get images and impressions of what can go wrong because you have intuition. You have chakras. Yeah? That's how we know how to get out of a burning building on time, because we have chakras. We have to constantly be developing our chakras, always. But countries after countries after countries. We have a whole world that's been taken over by Muslims. We have a whole world that was taken over by evil, corrupt gangs. You know, evil. You know, and the suffering that sits behind that. You know, the sex trade and all the process that goes on in this world of unhealthy chakras. In England, things have been that way for so long, that the majority of children are Satanists today.
Report finds that in the United Kingdom, young people are increasingly turning away from God and instead turning towards Satanism. The story in the Sunday UK Telegraph featured the sub-headline, "Young People Turning to Satanism Instead of Stuffy Christianity." According to the article, over the past 5 years, one such group has increased its membership by 200%. Its leaders say young people believe church viewpoints on sexuality and gender identity are, quote, outdated. And joining.
Now that is brought to you by reincarnation. So you take young people. These are people that were born, if they're young, they're 20 or lower. So they were born year 2000 on. And that means that they died around 1995, 1998. And by that time, they were already really gay. They were from England, they were gay, they were transgender, they were goth, really big goth. They were pagans. They ruled Glastonbury as witches. And then they died around the year 2000. All the major witches and warlocks began dying. And they came back. And now they're Satanists. Full on transgender. Full on feminist. They feel so strongly because of their previous life that in this life they feel that schools must be oriented toward transgender. That's where we can get the kids. Necessary. Because these are Satanists. They have reincarnated into this process. And that's the process of reincarnation. It doesn't mean reincarnation and we're better off. It means reincarnation And we could destroy this place by us not taking advantage of the fact that God reincarnates us. We don't even know that we reincarnate. Have no idea. It's just, oh, come on. You know, because it's so pagan. It's not in the idea. Nothing. You know, so we're very, very, very much being moved by the process of reincarnation, depending on the country, as to how that outcome's going to be. So let's look at Arabia. Now, Arabia is the capital of Muslims. Capital. And they take over Israel. They took over Pakistan. They took over major portions of India. Yeah. They're trying to get into China, Asia. And their whole thing is to make sure that Christianity is out the door and that Buddhism is out the door. And any practice whatsoever toward God. Now, they think God is Allah, but that's a terrorist. That's not God. That's a false messiah that uses religion as a way to destroy all religions. Yeah, that's what the Muslim religion is for, is to wipe away religions. They went around in their text. It says there can't be any statues, nothing like that. Yeah, so they go around and wiped away all Christian processes, all Buddhist processes, all Hindi processes, all signs of God incarnating. And any avatar, any masters, any Buddhists, wipe it away. Wipe it away. Any understanding of their coming of an avatar or a Buddha or Christ, wipe it away. Get rid of it. You know, so that is the process that humanity, this earth, countries are involved in. And then there's me. Yeah, a simple priest who serves God and created earth. So my job is to sustain earth, make it sustainable, bring it back to its true nature, help everybody to understand their co-creative responsibilities and how simple it is to take care of this earth, because it takes care of us through psychic means, psychokinetic means. Yeah, so many different levels of psychic ability. You know, all the way to Christ. You know, so for us to be disciples of Christ, for us to further God's principle on earth, which is love, healing, forgiveness, direction, education, understanding, all those things have to be fostered and developed. And it's not through a government. It's not through a law. It's a universal understanding. Yeah. It's usually found in the Aboriginals because they themselves are from millions of years of living. And they didn't have TV and all that, but they did build the pyramids. So it just tells you we're far from our true nature. And we're far from our genius that we really are. We're so ignorant, we have no idea how any of this shit was built. And yet we're the ones who built it. We had control over gravity. How else do you build a pyramid? We had control over matter. How else do you make stone move the way it did? And form the way it did? And stand up and move and go to places the way it did? Impossible. Unless we had highly advanced telepathic abilities, control over matter, control over gravity, control over the things that we think we have no control over. But we do. If we relax, we become one with the very center of matter. And if we attune our chakras, we learn within ourselves we have the ability to levitate. We have the ability to change our anger, our anxiety, our hostility into understanding and compassion and empathy. You got to do all that before you get to levitation. You have to learn to lift up and transmute and transcend. And in time, that will include gravity and all material things. All material things. They're not limited. They're not created in the way that you think. They're created through magic. And magic is the common grace of God. We just don't get to witness it because we're so screwed up. We have so many vile emotions and so many negative feelings and so many anxieties and worries. It's like a machine putting out all this anti-God energetic force. And it's really hard for God to get past that and make it into the earth, make it into you, and transmute this terrible, terrible outcome. But that is what it is. God is nature. We cannot go against nature. Can't go against it. But we can master it. Mastering nature is what we do. We don't allow elements to control us. That's where all of our emotions, our fears, and everything comes from. So we have to learn to transmute that lower nature into a higher nature. From diva to deva. It is magic. And it's not any kind of magic that you know of because it's normal. The miracles that take place in Christ's world, all the miracles, anybody would say that's magic. And it is. But not the kind of magic, sleight of hand, lying bullshit that magic is. It's the real thing. It's grace. It's the Holy Spirit. It's the power of God. But you don't have that power. You lost that power. You seek knowledge. There's no power in knowledge. None. What if a person is dying of cancer? A little late now to learn to pray. A little late now to learn to meditate and calm down, transmute that cancer like Jesus would. A little late. So we have to think in terms that this is what's expected of us. And we're never going to get there through worry, through anger, through energies built up, creating an enormous amount of anxiety in you and mental illness you can't control. And you take it as a norm, as your personality, as a characteristic flaw. But it's not. It's unhealthy chakras. And you must practice properly. You are not designed to be non-empathetic. You are created to be compassionate. You are manifested in the ability of wisdom and understanding, not knowledge, not intellect, not assured, mental clarity. No. It's revelation. It's a revealing of something that keeps you in a place to where you can see the fulfillment of something. And you have faith and hope and understanding. It's not intellect. It actually builds. And in that you get a revelation. You get clarity of mind. You get an image. You have a view. And the view is important. Yeah, if you can't have the view, what view do you have? Do you have Trump's view? Are you a politician? Are you looking through the glasses of a Democrat? Are you looking through the glasses of a Republican? That's ridiculous. That means you're really stupid. There's no such thing as a Republican or a Democrat. Nope. It's just lower chakras, prejudice, bias, lower way of thinking in the separative way of identifying. You're just at war. Yeah, and you don't know what's going on. You think it's normal, natural. Oh, I'm a Democrat. There's no such thing. I'm a conservative. I'm a liberal. There's no such thing. Yeah. All it is very unhealthy chakras talking, expressing themselves in separative ways of lower mind, intellectually fulfilling a ridiculous ongoing process of trying to identify with government, governing something you're not in charge of. You have no idea how much God has to play in this for anything to work out. And you need to give thanks. It's not a coincidence. It's not a happenstance. It's not luck. We have to be real. We have to be honest. We have to be truly with God. We have to think in terms of God. We need to serve God. We need to help God. We need to know that God is everything. And all the conflict that we see is caused by Satan, not God. Caused by the adversary. And your ridiculous intellectuality is supporting the adversary without even knowing it. Just simply by not getting better. You need to stay calm. You must meditate. Or that number 4, fourth ray, will go from your base to your brow. And there you are, Satan's child. And that moves that 5th ray from your brow to your sacral center. And now you're not a lover. Nothing you could do in this world would make you a lover. Nothing. Love is absolutely nowhere in you. Not a part of you. Not an expression of you. Nope. It's something you buy. It's something you own. It's something you get rid of. It's material. It's not love. You identify with it. Yeah. And you call it love. But it's not love. Not love. And the more that unhealthy seventh ray sits down at your base, there's no possible way you can see this world as, oh, I'm conservative, oh, I'm liberal. It's that unhealthy connection with God, relating to things as being material, as though God's in a machine, and you have the ability to control that machine. God in the machine, and you're the God. You know, it's just the unhealthiest part of our nature. So with that, we just go have sex with anyone we want. Because they're machines. They're not real. They're just bodies to have sex with. So when you have sex, it's not love. It's just casual sex. Why? Because you have a fifth ray at your sacral center, a seventh ray at your base center, and a fourth ray at your brow. Male or female, you're demons. Demons. Now, how long is it going to take for you to realize that the majority of your being is demons and zero soul? Zero. And yet you're on this earth to provide soulful qualities to save your brothers and sisters and to make way for your future incarnation to not be filled with hate, anger, and suspicion, and jealousy, and ibisness. All the things found in the characteristics of males and females. Predominantly in females. Because most of these chakras that are changed on the lower chakra centers. And when those things change, those are communication centers. So we lose completely any communication between human beings, especially if you're a different gender, because you can't see it. Your wisdom isn't clear enough. You immediately project all men are ugly, all men rape, all men are violent, all men are abusive, all men want to own everything, including people. It's just the way it is. And it's not true. There is extreme unhealthiness, and that is true. But the real truth is in our divinity. And we need to work toward developing that. Yeah. So one of the biggest ways on a planetary level, and this is not going to be easy for anybody, but we let Hong Kong go back to Hong Kong. It was owned by England. We let India go back to India. It was owned by England. They destroyed the entire process of England. They destroyed the entire process of India because of these lower chakras. And now, no one was healed. Everything is in a state. Imagine you got the people from Hong Kong, they got China coming at them. You're going to go back to be China. Yeah. And you got the people in India, and they're going, well, we hate everybody. We only want to be Indian. Whatever that is, that's what we want to be. And so their growth, their evolution and everything is so stuck in a diluted past, that they can't grow. There's no health. So there's very few nations that are able to become soulful at this time. It's not the United States. I mean, would you include Texas? Would you include Florida? Would you include Omaha? No. Because those are the evilest places we got. Would you include San Francisco, Seattle, Portland? No. Because they're so sick. Society is sick. The towns are sick. They're so poor. Everybody's losing it. Poverty is at the highest place. People are homeless. No one cares. That's pretty bad. Imagine what that does to the earth. You know, how does that affect the earth? Yeah. Those are big continents. A lot of imperil going in. A lot of anger, a lot of hostility. All the American Indians hate white people. That's not good. We can't live like that. We have to learn to love each other. Blend together. Become one. And go back to the earth. You know, treat the earth and everyone equally. But that's not going to happen for quite a while. Because it comes from the earth. The imperil you put into the earth comes ricocheting back into us. And unless we use our vehicles, our chakras, to transmute this imperil from the past and the present, and our evil projections toward the future, it's not creating a healing environment, let me tell you. So the only hope, and it will happen, this earth is paradise. Yeah. So there is a zone, there is a location on earth that is a kingdom of heaven. It actually has chakras. And the Aboriginal people there that held those chakras in a healthy stage created a language of love. No other country in the world has a language of love as their national language. Yeah. Males and females are 100% attracted to each other, have no difficulty communicating with each other and building families. That's because they're one with the land they're on, and they're Hawaiians. Yeah. Hawaii. Yeah. One of many places all over the earth. But this is one place that is more restricted, harder to get to, further away than any other location. So it really allowed for its own evolution, for its own manifestation under God's design. And it came out incredible. And the people came from everywhere. They came from Fiji Island, they came from the Polynesian Islands, they came from the Philippines, they came from Japan, they came from everywhere. So they had Minihuni, who were these really small people, around 3 to 4 feet tall. And they were the people of Hawaii up to about 1,000 years ago. And, it's just because they crossbred. That's who they were. They were just no real big people. But then that changed. And the islands from the Philippines, the places from Fiji, they got in their boats and they sailed all the way. They were led. Some of the stories are incredible. They were led by dolphins and led by intuition and telepathy, to find paradise in the middle of nowhere. And they found Hawaii. Yeah. And for a long time, each island had their own king. Each island had their own aggression. Each island was separate from the other. And they fought for territory. And then in the late 1700s, King Kamehameha came, who was a descendant of many generations of Hawaiian, which allowed for his chakras to be strong. He was incarnated with enormous amount of love. He cared for people more than anybody. He wanted all the kings to unite and be one kingdom. Yeah, because he was so kind and so generous and so good and so caring that they all relinquished their authority to him and created Hawaii. There's a ceremonial song from Hawaii. And this is the original Hawaiian royalty.
For 20 generations of Maui royalty, the island was its own sovereignty. After unification by Kamehameha the Great, Lahaina was named the capital city of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Its small boat harbor was already bustling with whaling ships, more than 400 vessels a year. Front Street became the boomtown gathering place, with hotels, inns, and shops lining the wharf. In 1823, missionaries protested the rowdy behavior of visiting sailors. They built the two-story Waine'i Church and Cemetery, where many ali'i are interred. To enforce curfew and liquor laws, the royal governor of Maui built Lahaina Fort, 1 acre of stone near Banyan Court Park, site of the largest banyan tree in the world. Maui officials say the tree is charred, but might be salvageable. The Baldwin House Museum was, for 129 years, the home of missionary Dwight Baldwin and his descendants. Authorities say today it has been lost to flames. Over the next century, the renown of Lahaina drew artists, writers, and visionaries. The Pioneer Inn was visited by Sun Yat-sen, Jack London, and Herman Melville, who is said to have written the classic Moby Dick there. The inn, listed on the National Registry of Historic Hotels, is now gone. 61 years ago, the Front Street vicinity was named a National Historic Landmark, with many of its historic places standing as proof that this special place has evolved many times over centuries. And perhaps it is a hopeful reminder that Lahaina can move forward again as it faces its latest and most devastating challenge.
So this is a ceremonial song of Hawaii.
Where is the Hawaiian mother?
Kawai ola, kawai puna, kawai holo, kawai lele. Ina kai e walu, ke kai luna, ke kai lalo. I kamakani olu olu, kamakani ikaika. I ka uali ili, ka ualoa, ka uawa, ka uahanai. I ka aina hoolina, ka aina hanau, ka aina kupono. I Hawaii nui a ke ave. I Maui nui a kama. I ka hola vea kanaloa. I lana i a ka ulula au. I moloka inui a hina. I o ahualua. I ka wai o mano. I ni hawa ka helelani. I nā moku manua nā kūpuna. I ka mana o. Ka ikaika. Ka ala. Ka mana li'i. Ka mana lani. Ku I ka mana Hawaii nei.
The mana of all of Hawaii rises up.
So if you understand, mana is prana, mana is soul, mana is life, mana is everything. Mana is God's consciousness and mind. Yeah. So everything in this ceremony speaks of mana raises you up. Mana raises you up. Yeah. Look at this song. It's a ceremonial song. Same as all my pujas.
Ai hea ka mana Hawaii.
Where is the Hawaiian mana?
I ke kua hiwi, ke kua lono, ke kula, ke kahakai.
So this is an invocation. Where is the Hawaiian Islands? In the different land divisions from sea to mountain. And then it says, rises the mana, lifts it up. Then it says, in the different forests of God and man, rises the mana up. Rises the mana. Then the living water, the springs, the flowing water, and the waterfall rises the mana up. In the 8 seas, the sea above and the sea below, rises the mana up. In the gentle wind and the strong wind, rises the mana up. In the light rain, the big rain, the bitter rain, the rain that brings life, raises the mana up. In the inherited land, the birthplace, the independent land, raises the mana up. In the islands of Hawaii, raises the mana up. And then it names the different islands. The island of Maui raises the mana up. The island of Kahaloi raises the mana up. The island of Lanai raises the mana up. The island of Molokai raises the mana up. The island of Oahu raises the mana up. The island of Kauai raises the mana up. The island of Nuhoa raises the mana up. In the bird islands of the ancestors, raises the mana up. In one mind, one
The mana
strength,
of all
one
of
path,
Hawaii rises
the
up.
small man's big man, heavenly man, people's man, mana of all Hawaii, raises up. So imagine, we are a temple. Hawaii is a temple. Raised up in the center of the sea, where all the good people of the earth have been led to. They go here to get married. They go here to have the time of their life in paradise, where they're going to receive love, aloha, and mahalo. They're going to live in ohana as a family of Hawaii the moment they arrive. It's what it's like to come here. It's not like that in San Francisco, Sacramento. Nope. But it is that way in Hawaii. And it's that way because it is that. You know, the earth is that. We are in a very bad place. We have created very bad scenarios. We are in a very bad scenario. And I am doing the best I can. I created the temple in Northern California, and I basically have moved to Maui in order to sanctify the earth from a place that allows that mana to go up into the noosphere, and for it to be collected into all the nations as it's passed into the earth. And just because it's in the noosphere doesn't mean that it's separate from the earth. It is directly connected to the geosphere, the hemisphere. It's all connected. Just that it's an offering of grace and understanding and wisdom that then penetrates the earth and heals the earth. Yeah. This is the way Hawaiians think.
If he lands that bulldozer on this property, I can call the cops and he's gonna get arrested for desecrating our burial. So it's so hard, you know, that people just don't understand what it means, what our kupunas mean to us.
You Hawaiian?
No, we all Hawaiian, but we don't need air.
But you know what? What? You gonna destroy?
No, we're not gonna destroy. We're not gonna destroy nothing.
I don't understand. Well, so I'm asking you, are you Hawaiian?
No.
Okay, then you don't understand.
I don't understand.
You don't understand the culture. There is boundaries that you have to stay away from.
And we are going to the state, not me. Yeah.
No, your realtor was supposed to tell you.
We're not going to touch the burial site. I guarantee. Look, I don't want to touch the doors up. I don't like no hot lock. I know what it is. I'm not touching them. I'm not going to close.
They don't understand. You know, all the land of these people is taken away. The people who live here, less than half of them, are Native Hawaiians. I know a lot of Native Hawaiians who moved from here because it's just too costly, and they have no land. They have no land. And that's going to change. I'm going to change that. Yeah. And the Native Hawaiians are going to get back their land. Yeah. And the same's going to happen in America with Native Americans. But this is important for everybody to understand what my intention is, why it is I'm doing this sort of thing, because I need to heal the earth. You know, you don't heal the earth by doing a half-assed job and not understanding anything and being materialistic and think that you could just take a bulldozer and change the look, and that there's no spirit involved. There is, and this is a sacred land, and these are sacred people, and you could see that young man was so overwhelmed. He's not of anger. He's not of hostility. He's of compassion for the land, for the people on this land. You know, we're sacred people. We want to be buried on sacred land. We want to live a sacred life. We want to be provided by God because we know that is what goes on. And we don't want to be in this other boat where everything's materialistic and you don't give a shit about the land or God. You know, so in this country, in this one place, this kingdom of Hawaii, there will be a change. And it'll happen first on the island of Oahu. Big riots, big fights, big things are going to happen. But on the island of Maui, things will change peacefully. Land will be transformed. People who are coming in like Zuckerberg, is coming in buying thousands of acres on Maui. Completely. And these are all pieces of land owned by people who are many, many generations on this land. But because he's rich and a developer, they just say, well, you don't really have a written title. So we're going to just take it and give you $1,000. And come to find out, it's Zuckerberg. Just like the other guy who bought the whole island. Yeah, so that will change. Zuckerberg's not coming in. He actually has been kicked out. But that's because we're Maui. We could do things no one else could do. Yeah, because Tibetans put the first stupa here for Maitreya, and this is the seat of Maitreya for the whole world. And there's a reason for that. Because Buddhism has to do with saving the earth and the nature found inside of earth as a soul. And that we need to unite with that understanding that there are many events that have taken place up to now that have helped me in creating this sacred event here. Many masters of wisdom came here to die, live out their final days, so that they can imbue their karma, their good merit, into this land, because they knew it was so sacred. Not India, not the Himalayas, no, Maui. So that's only going to grow. There's going to be a monastery built here that's just like the one behind me. I'm going to help push, monolithic domes to be every house that's built here. I'm going to push that people build with pyramids, and that they emphasize that they are sacred beings, and that's why they came to Maui. Not because it's paradise and they can afford paradise. Not that at all. They're here because they want to be sustainable. They want to live a modest life. We should have a very limited number of hotels here. A very limited number of houses that could be bought or sold. And an enormous amount of land that is put aside for Hawaiians, with no process of them being kicked out. Because in the Hawaiian family, we pass on our homes. We don't sell them. That's how it works. We keep reincarnating. If you don't live that life, this is all about money and buying land and buying houses and real estate. And it's not that. We deserve, we are sacred. We are on a sacred land. We need to behave. So I will do what I have to do in order to illustrate the direction in which we need to take. But it'll be mainly for this Hawaiian island. But it will manifest throughout the entire earth. It will affect everybody. Everything. Nothing separate. But if we can pull this off in one spot, be compassionate, be loving, be kind, be Christians, be the first group of Christians on earth to truly manifest all the glory of God into nature and not take it away by thinking that we're a bunch of machines and that we can buy and sell people and children and things. And it's not true. So let's do an invocation, a prayer called the Great Invocation. Okay, just listen to this. I have this in a video form. I'll play that at another time. Right now we're just going to do the audio. So about every 10 seconds we do Om, and we don't start the Om until I start the Om. So I tell you, take a deep breath, and then we do the Om. So enjoy, just relax.
Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May humanity of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all mankind be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us do our part.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of mankind. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and come say, "Come forth, O Mighty One." Let the souls of mankind awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of the woe has come. Come forth, O Mighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O Mighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O Mighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. Point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of mankind. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, Let love stream forth into the hearts of mankind. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, a purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of mankind, let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Sons of men are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not to hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form, and let life and all events and bring forth to light the love which underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavage be gone. Let love prevail. Let all mankind love.
Okay, just relax. Okay, as part of this thing, I will abolish all homosexual demons on earth. They just won't be coming back. So the process is the fact that we are all temples, even Mr. Trump. So due to the fact that he is a temple, I'm radiating the shit out of his demon. And that is having an effect on a mass of people who would be supporting him but is not. And a constitution that I developed that does not support him and keeps him from being president again. And this is that situation.
Members of the Federalist Society, the conservative legal group, and proponents of originalism, the method of interpretation that seeks to determine the Constitution's original meaning. One of those professors, William Boddy, summarized their conclusions saying, quote, Donald Trump cannot be president, cannot run for president, cannot become president, cannot hold office unless 2/3 of Congress decides to grant him amnesty for his conduct on January 6th.
I don't see that happening. Do you see that happening? No, you don't see that happening. You may have a different view, but we will all have the same view, and this jackass is going to jail. He is not ever going to be on the ballot to be elected president. He won't make it that far. We have so many crimes against him. He's a criminal. He's in criminal law right now for treason. Treason, people, treason. For that reason alone, the 14th Amendment was written. Anybody who commits treason in any way, shape, or form is not able to carry out duties or be elected to carry out any duties. Now, the weird thing about it is that it means that in the Constitution, it states that you need to be a certain member within the government. Yep. And a senator, someone like that, is that, but not a president. So we have to look at this deeper, using wisdom and understanding. in order to fully put him in his place. And we're doing that. We're doing that. Yeah. So that takes a lot of virtue. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of love to do the right thing. And Jack Smith's got that going. You know, so the job of humanity is to try and deal with reality. And don't buy in to the conspiracy, to the Trump reality, that there's some kind of conspiracy going on, that they stole the votes, that they are doing terrible things, the Bidens are doing and stuff. Yeah, they're all doing terrible things. But they're not talking about it. They're just saying they're doing terrible things. I'm talking about it. I'm laying straight out what it is that's going on. That in itself is like a laser point to the very specific things that need to change. And I'm doing that. I'm not expecting anybody else to do it. I'm doing it. So I will get a result that will effectively change the outcome of the future. Because we won't have these creeps running things. And the new generations that are coming forth will not be the people like that are incarnated today. They'll be much stronger, much wiser, much calmer practitioners of Christ's love, Christ's wisdom, Christ's understanding, Christ's strength. The whole world is based on saints. The whole world. You know, so we're walking into that now. And there's treacherous scenarios going on. The guy thinks he's going to be president again, and we know what that could do. You know, we've lost all of Lahaina. That's impossible, but it happened. But out of that, we are going to designate land for the Hawaiians. We are going to make schools for the Hawaiians. We're going to create communities for the Hawaiians. Why? Because this is Lahaina. It's the headquarters of the Kingdom of Hawaii. You don't mess with it. All sacred sites of all of Hawaii focuses on Lahaina. So we're going to do something right in Lahaina. We're going to limit hotels. We're going to allow tourism, but they're going to come to see the culture of Hawaii and why it is this way, and take it home and change your life. Change your country into Hawaii. Everywhere is aloha. Everywhere is Hawaii. But you can't come here and own this place. You can't build mansions here. Can't build the biggest high-rise here. You know, when Lahaina was in its glory, there were no major high-rises. That's all over there in Oahu. We've done everything to keep ourselves as structurally as balanced as possible. But it's still real bad. Over in Wailea, Kihei side, we got obnoxious hotels. Big hotels. And they shouldn't be there. They take up the entire ocean. Why do people come here? To swim in the ocean. To enjoy the ocean. It's not right that they have to spend $600 a night to do that. And think that that's what Hawaii is. It's not what Hawaii is. Hawaii is low cost, sustainable, easy living, island life. Aloha. Ohana. Yeah? Our language. You need to learn. It's on every sign. Yeah, we didn't take away the Hawaiian language, but we need Hawaiian schools so we can teach Hawaiian language to the people who live in Hawaii. Anybody who lives in Hawaii needs to learn Hawaiian. Okay, so we're going to rebuild Lahaina, but we need everybody to understand Hawaii. Don't come here with your mindset. You know, have a deep respect for this land. A deep respect. Deep, deep, deep respect. These people are brought here from far, far away because of their heart, because of their past lives, because of their spirit. And they're here to help heal the earth. Aloha. That's what Hawaii is. How to heal the earth, the whole earth, the whole earth. We're not asking for much. We're asking to heal the earth. Give us back Hawaii. Let us do what we do. Come and visit us. Enjoy. Be at peace. Receive love. Take it home. Come back as often as you want. Get married here. Have all kinds of good fun here. But don't change us. Don't change the culture. Don't try and change the land. Don't try and change the outcome. This is the only place on earth that's allowed this. And we still see it. Everybody in Hawaii still sees it. Yeah, it's not built to anger yet. When we get to only 10% Hawaiians and all the rest are haoles, you're going to see violence just like in America with the American Indians. And they're going to hate forever. And this is not a place of hate. We can't allow that to happen. We have to do everything we can to be respectful of the Hawaiian people, the Hawaiian Islands, the Hawaiian culture, their identity. Okay. Enjoy. Thank you very much for attending.